Well, Danny Ayalon is Israel's former deputy foreign minister and ambassador to the United States, and I asked him what he thinks about the negotiations in Cairo and the prospects for a deal.
We hope so, certainly. You know, we would like to bring back our babies who are there in captivity for half a year now, and elderly and women, which we know they are in the most horrendous conditions. But it all depends on Hamas. I think that now Israel pretty much agreed on all the sticking points, namely the ratio of Palestinian terrorist prisoners to be released for each hostage, and also moving back of some of the people from Gaza, the Palestinians from the southern part of Rafah, which is in Rafah, to the northern part. And there's still some issues about the identity of those, and I believe this is what will be the crux, and this will be discussed in Cairo this week.
Now, we understand that the CIA director and the Israeli spy chief are taking part in these talks, along with senior officials from Qatar and Egypt. What kind of pressure could that put on to reach a deal?
Well, there are two kinds of pressures on Hamas. Unfortunately, as a terror organization, they are not really bounded by any international rules. I mean, in terms of even very common human ethics and morals. However, there are two kinds of pressures. One is military on the ground, which Israeli force is moving ahead. Secondly, it would be a pressure on their leaders who live in Doha, in Qatar. They live in five-star hotels where their people are languishing in Gaza. So if Qatar would be to expel them, that could be a real threat. And this is what the United States now is asking for the Qataris to put maximum pressure on the leadership of Hamas in order to be, so they would be more, I would say, agreeable in reaching finally terms for the exchange.
So along with that pressure from President Biden on Hamas, President Biden also pushing Prime Minister Netanyahu in Israel to fully empower his negotiators to reach a deal. Does President Biden have that kind of leverage to move things along? And how much was the killing of those US aid workers a factor in the latest push?
Yeah, this was very unfortunate. You know, this is what we call friendly fire. Israel took full responsibility, and I guess they also will have to compensate the families, which we will do, of course, very willingly. And yes, there is pressure from President Biden to reach a ceasefire, but not at any price. Because the Americans know if they put all the pressure on Israel, there will never be a deal, because the Hamas will just wait patiently until Israel is delivered to them.